Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of Trail Cam Monday. In this episode we'll be looking at the Spypoint Cell Link adapter and the Spypoint Long Range Antenna, and then I'm hopefully going to be hooking them up to this Wild Game 360 camera. So let's get started. Alright, so it's out of the box now. We'll start with the Cell Link. So you've got the main module right here. There's the main module. Here's its standard antenna. And then here we have the adapter for the SD card, owner's manual, and a bunch of stickers in multiple languages. So let's check out how to set it up. Alright, so first we're going to screw on the external antenna. I'm going to start with this standard antenna, although we live in an area with rather low cell phone reception, so I'll probably end up going to the long range antenna, but for now we'll start with this and see how it works. So I'm just going to screw it on and then I'll come back once it's done. Alright, so there's the antenna on. Now we're going to add batteries, and to do that I'm going to open the side cover here, turn it on its side, and then we're going to push down that orange tab right there, and it's nice because it's spring loaded, so you just pull it right out. Now I'm going to load it up with batteries, and I'll come back once it's loaded. Alright, so there's the battery tray all loaded up with batteries. We're just going to slide it back in here. Easier to do with two hands. I'll come back with it in. Alright, so there it is in the adapter. Now we also need a micro SD card, which they don't supply, so you have to supply it yourself. So I'm going to put that in. It goes in right there. Right there. Alright, so there is my 32GB micro SD card. Just going to put it right in there. Alright, so now I'm going to attach the screw-on adapter piece right there. Alright, so now I'm going to plug in the SD card adapter. It plugs in and then screws on. Alright, so there, it's basically all set up. I'm going to set up the app and then come back and show you guys attaching it to the camera. Alright, so activation took a bit to figure out because the barcode on here is so small that when you go to try to scan it with like a regular phone, it's hard to get it to focus in so close because it's got to be like right up against the camera almost. So what I did is, it has a letter number combination right here, and you can type that in. Now it has dashes in between the letters. The first 4, then a dash, then 3, then a dash, and then 4. So when you type those into the app, it acts like it's going to work. It lights up the little continue button or whatever it says there, and when you go to do it, it says an error occurred. So I tried that a couple times, and when it wouldn't work, I took out the dashes and it worked. Now I did do it with the adapter on. They said to do it with it off. I wasn't sure if that's why it wasn't connecting, because I had it off at first and it wasn't working. Although when I did turn it on, it still didn't work until I removed the dashes. So it might still work with the adapter off, I don't know. But it's all set up now, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to plug it into the Wild Game. Alright, so basically you take this card here and you plug it in here. This is for the wild game, so other cameras have it on the bottom and other places, but for this one it has it on the side. Now unfortunately there's a latch right here, so I'm going to have to route it out someplace else. So I think I'm going to try the bottom. Now a lot of people online give this thing bad reviews. We're going to see how this works out. I'll do some updates along the way hopefully. But a lot of the time it's because the cord into this card seems to go bad from what I've understood. So I'm going to try to make sure that it doesn't get pulled on. Just a minute here. Alright, sorry, that was just too hard to do with one hand, but I think I'm going to route it kind of like that so that it goes out the bottom, first of all to keep a good seal, and secondly because there's a latch there. And I'm going to loop it around with a little bit of slack so that it doesn't pull on the SD card, because their SD card, however they made it, I'm going to try to look at it and see if I can find out why, but it doesn't stay in like a regular SD card. It pulls out easily. So I'm not sure why that is, but it doesn't have like that standard push in and then it latches, and push out, push in and then it comes out. This one you just push it in and it stays in by friction. So you've got to make sure that there's nothing pulling on the card, or that could also be a problem. So I'm going to do that and then we'll see if it closes right. I set the camera to a minimum of 1 minute trigger time because that's what it says to do in the manual. I might eventually test it with 30 seconds and 15 seconds as well, but for now I'm just going to set it to a minute because that's what they say to do. And we also have lower internet service, so I don't want it to get too backed up with photos. So I'm going to plug this card in. So it still clicks in, but if you notice, even when you click it in, you can still pull it out. So I'm going to click it in like that. I'm going to route the cord, turn the camera on, and then close the door, and I'll show you once that's all done. So it was a pretty tight squeeze right where the card is right here and where the door is. So we'll see how the cord holds up to that, because it almost has to bend almost directly after it comes out of the card. I'm hoping that doesn't put too much strain on the cord. I also have the cord coming out right here, and if you look real closely there, you can see it basically just squishes the rubber out of the way in just a small area. I don't think that will cause a waterproofing issue because it's literally just a small area on the bottom. We'll see how it goes over time, but that is now set up. Alright, so here on the Spypoint Cell Link, here's the status LEDs right here. This one here will light up if there's a picture being transmitted, and these ones here will show the cell phone signal level, and it flashing is showing that it is searching for a cell signal. Now eventually it should lock onto a cell signal. There is other options that if these lights are flashing, you know, with this one off, flashing or off, it can mean errors and different things. I'll leave that to anyone who, if you actually get it, it shows in the manual. Alright, so now I'm going to go over to the app and I'll show you some things in the app. Alright, so in the app, this is basically your home screen. So you have status right there, photos right there, plans, and settings. So I'm just going to kind of go through the menus. So for status here, it gave me a signal strength of 40%, and it's basically been saying that the whole time. I'm not sure if that's a glitch in the app or what. When I turned this thing on here, it basically said it had between 3 and 4 bars, so I would think that would be more than 40%. However, that's okay because it was still functioning. It gives you your battery level and your battery type, which you set up when you're setting it up, how much room is left on your SD card, the last communication time, which is right there, temperature, you can switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit, and then it gives you some information down here that applies directly to your camera. The authentication code will be there. So you can go to photos. I'm not going to go there because I haven't got any good photos. You got plans here. When you start out, it gives you the free unlimited plan for 7 days, and then you have all these plans. So 100 photos per month is free, basic is 250 photos per month, standard is 1,000 photos a month, and unlimited is unlimited. And the prices are different between monthly and yearly billing. So you can see it drops some off the price. So then if you go over here to settings, it gives you your setup, so you can change all that right here. So you can give your first transmission time, your frequency. So if I go right there, let me see here. So you can do each detection 1 time a day, 2 times a day, 6 times a day, and 12 times per day. And then advanced configuration gives you what your temperature unit is and your power source, which is basically AA pack, their lithium pack I believe it is, and 12 volt. I'm not sure exactly what that AA thing right there is. Anyway, I set it to AA because that's what I have in there. And that's pretty much it for the setup and the app. They do have a menu down here at the bottom. There's supposed to be a weather feature coming soon, and this maps feature right here, which if you click on it, it says coming soon, and right there. And it also says it doesn't apply to this camera because obviously I don't have a GPS on this camera. The weather is also coming soon, so basically right now you have cameras and photos. So if you don't pay to join the Spypoint group or whatever, right there, if you don't pay for that, you don't get the species filters, so it'll tell you and it'll sort them. I'm currently not interested in joining the club. You still can do the full HD, although it is cheaper if you are a member, I believe. Full HD, basically you can select your picture and request it from the camera in full HD, or sorry, from the adapter actually, where they're stored. I believe it's $5 for 50 full HD pictures. Then you have favorites, and that's basically it. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the external antenna, which is probably going to be used where I am because of the fact that we have so little cell phone service. So here it is right here. I'm going to take it out of the box and then I'll show you it out of the box and then attaching it to the adapter right here, and you can see that the little status light just came on, which means it's trying to transmit a picture, I believe. So I'll take it out and I'll show it to you. Alright, so here's the stuff that comes in the box with the cell phone. Alright, so here's the stuff that comes in the box with the long range antenna. You've got your antenna here, right there. You've got an SMA connector on the other end here, and I believe 15 feet of cable, 2 zip ties, not sure what they're for. I suppose you could zip tie them to something if you wanted to zip tie the cable to like a pole or something. 2 screws, an adapter right here. This is the adapter, and it says it is a universal adapter to connect your antenna to a cellular trail camera from another brand other than Spypoint. So I guess they have their own type of connector. Anyway, so that's your universal adapter right there. and then right here you have a mounting bracket for the antenna. So I'm going to hook it up to the adapter right here, and let's see if we can get some better service, because here in this room it isn't actually able to transmit pictures because of the poor service, or at least it seems to take a very long time. I also would like to try comparing it in the field, although to start off with I think I'll just start with only using this and not using the small antenna right there, because I think we just have too little cell phone service around to get reliable usage with that small antenna. Alright, so I got the antenna screwed in. Wasn't very hard to do. Just unscrew the old antenna and screw the new one on. And now you can see the adapter is looking for a cell signal, and I'll try to see if it can get a reliable cell signal here in this room. I was having some difficulty getting one with this short antenna before, so we'll see if it works or not. Alright, so I'm still not sure if it's got a reliable connection here in this room. However, it is inside of a room in a poor cell phone reception area, so time will tell how it will do outside. However, this is going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And we'll see you next time.